Njuguna. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. I'll be the lead in this session where we'll be talking about innovation in the field of education. Okay? And one of the things that I want is, we will not concentrate on everything, but these are the key highlights where we'll talk about investing in IT for education, connecting the next generation of students through mobile and social media, transforming to a digital institution as we go ahead. So I think I'd like to note the fact that this innovation in education will not just concentrate on technology, because innovation is not only technology. Okay, so how is innovation turning education's heads in Africa? I'm from Africa, right? But when we are talking about the internet, we'll be talking about the globe, obviously. So one of the biggest flaws in education that I've seen so far is the assumption that all children learn in the same way. I think from ancient times, we've always had this traditional writing and listening kind of setup. But recently, we have different learning styles. We have the audio-visual and kinesthetic learning styles. So one of the things that we do as a company is understand how your children consume education, consume content in that matter. So there are kids who will look at videos and they pick up things very fast. Some will see, and others, like I'm a kinesthetic learner. So we progress, we learn on the go. So as we're living in exciting times where our daily lives are dominated by education, the education landscape has broadly changed in embracing new technology in ways that have not been the norm. So for instance, in our country, Kenya, we just recently changed our whole education system to a more practical and more engaging kind of setup, as opposed to just sitting in class and people being given the same kind of teaching styles. So I don't know how all of you are embracing technology and how your education system is running, but it is imperative to know that as kids are in a digital ecosystem, we need to start innovating our ways of teaching them. It's worth noting that innovation does not only mean technology, but it encompasses any creative way of learning how to do new things. So when you focus on creativity in lessons, you cater for more students. So when you're having when you encompass the different learning styles, then you're catering for a more larger audience of children because you're talking in their language. So there are kids who want to do things practically. And if it's a math session, for instance, some will watch a video, get it, some will listen to audios, and some will do practical. So when you start introducing creative ways like the Montessori kind of learning, then you are appealing to a larger audience. So as a company, we do a lot of technology. And so we've developed a program called the Whiz Kids, where we are teaching children how to be digital literate and intelligent. So what we do with the Whiz Kids Africa is first to enable our children, which is preteen and teens. And I mean, we start introducing our children to technology at a very young age, 2-3 years old. They already know how to use gadgets. So what we do is first help them understand how to be a digital citizen, because they need to be able to portray themselves online as they are offline. So we concentrate on privacy. We help them with critical thinking. We help them with digital footprint, which means whatever it is that they're putting online has to be what they are, and they have to understand that that content can work against them or for them in a longer time, because I keep telling people the internet never forgets. So what you put, and I think I'm communicating to the two of you, the internet never forgets. So what you put online today, it may work for you or against you later on in the future. So we also focus a lot on digital empathy and how you put that content, how you portray yourself online. And one of the things that I'm very passionate about is security, because I have done cybersecurity as a career. And so how your kids are protecting their data online. So even as parents, are we allowing our kids to just post things that you wouldn't be comfortable to see? So that is something that we do and help them really, really understand that security is something very, very important. Very many of our teens, our preteens, even adults go through cyberbullying on an everyday basis. How do they manage that environment? They could be cyberbullied, or they could be the bullies themselves. So we work all around that. One of the other topics, obviously, that we really concentrate on for the kids is screen time management, and this will entail the time that they're using online for entertainment only. So apart from, research in terms of education and stuff, that is not screen time. So as a family, as an institution of education, how much time are you helping your children be online, and what is it doing for them if they're just online, watching games and playing videos and stuff like that. So our ecosystem looks like that, where we have the child in the middle, and then we have the first primary line of influence, which is the home, and then we have the second, which will be the second secondary, which will be the education centers. They spend most of their time in school, and then we have the third, which is the society, and our kids are living in a digital ecosystem, so their society will basically be online, where they feel that if they don't have 1,000 followers on Instagram, they do not have a community at all. So we focus a lot on that because their lives are online. And then where we can influence the government in terms of policy, that will be number 4, because the government gives us the structure of how we can run some of our institutions. So we basically cater for that. So I'll just briefly talk about some of the things that Africa is embracing in terms of technology, innovation, in education. So there are mobile schools. We still have the nomadic pastoralism in some places in Africa. And like in my country, what the government of Kenya has done in collaboration with UNICEF is to create mobile schools. So when each family is moving from one place to another because of their security, their kids are not being disadvantaged in terms of getting education, because in our country, education is free for public schools. So in 2010, our government joined forces with UNICEF to launch mobile schools, which brought education to learners of families who relocate frequently. Our country is really embracing technology. In Kenya, I think we are, top in terms of tech. So we have embraced a lot of e-learning. And what e-learning does, it breaks down the boundaries of geographical localities. So you can be anywhere as long as you have the internet, you can still consume your content. So what we've done is we've helped very many educational institutions come up with apps. So as long as there's internet and you have electricity, and for us electricity will also mean solar, because we have a lot of the rural areas of our country are powered by solar. So we'll have people access information through their mobiles. And that is something that for us is a big achievement. I have been following Ghana a lot, and I know one of the things that they're doing right now is teaching through robotics. So in Africa, we are really embracing technology, how we are transforming our education system. So what we do in our program outline, when we get your children in a class setup, first and foremost, we want to understand their personalities. Every child has a different personality. And so once we do a personality profiling, we give that feedback to parents, we give that feedback to their teachers, so that they're able to know this child is probably slow because they're of this personality. So you work with your child in the pace that they're in, instead of just putting them generally in a class setup where some of them will take up things quickly and some will not. And of course, as I talked earlier about digital citizenship, that is something that cuts across. We teach them on that. Cybersecurity management is something very important. And the bullying, privacy management, I hope even you people, as you install apps on your phones, you try and read instead of just terms and conditions you say next so that you can finish installing. Privacy is very key. If you don't read those things, you may be getting into trouble with some software. Digital empathy, time management, we really emphasize on such kind of stuff. And how to grow positive attitudes. You realize that our children, if they're on social media and they're, say for instance, Twitter addicts, their kind of concentration in terms of communication is 240 characters. I don't know who communicates like that, but that is the world we live in. So we get into the frame of mind where we want to understand how they communicate. They need to understand from our era how we communicate, and then we start generating positive attitudes towards that. Social media management, that I just don't teach children, I also teach adults, because we also find ourselves in that online space, so we also need to know how to manage our digital lives. For our children, we also get financial specialists to come and talk to them about money management at an early age. Because what I believe in is by the time children are at least 14, 15, they should be able to have profiles online so that they can start leveraging on a global platform. So if they don't know how to profile themselves and how to manage money, they don't start getting entrepreneurial skills at an early age. So which means they will go through their high school, then through their through their high school and their university, up to when they finish, that's when they start thinking about entrepreneurship. I believe in the age we're in, when we're leveraging on technology, we need to be able to teach our children entrepreneurial skills when they're at least 15, 16, 17. They should be able to know, I want to be a doctor, and I can be an online doctor, wherever it is. And we also teach them on how to invest, and that comes hand in hand with critical thinking. Because you have to be in a space where you think critically about your life and your future, and how to invest in certain things. I recently read a Millennium Report, where kids were asked if they were put in a policy setup room with government, would they advocate to reduce mortgages? And some of them had very interesting answers. Oh, sorry. Some of them had very interesting answers like, they can work anywhere in the world so they don't need to pay mortgage. So their world has really shifted. We need to be able to help them understand how they can invest even on virtual spaces. And that was just timely. Thank you.
Friends out here, I will introduce myself to you first. I'm being introduced here as Army Wives Welfare Association member of that, but I am an educationist with more than 30 years of experience in the field of education. I think they missed out that identity out here. I am heading a group of schools in India, but more than 25 schools are running pan-India, which I head. Head office is in Delhi. So I started my career as a teacher at the age of 19, and then did a lot of innovations, and now I'm heading a group of schools in India. So basically, being a teacher and an educator and a mixed people out here, I can see some children here and some adults here. Unfortunately, no men, only women, except the videographer. So I had prepared something, and after seeing Emily's speech, which is highly technically, technology, everything, so I thought, let me just speak very simple language, which the children also can understand and you also can follow. So innovation is a very, very overly used word. You know, wherever you can innovate. You can innovate in your life, your daily activities. You can innovate everywhere. So being an educationist, I will be touching upon what are the innovations that can be done, why innovate, and what is the innovations which is happening in global world only in the sector of K-12. It's a very broad topic when innovation in education, it could be from kindergarten till PhD. Right, but I will be touching upon only the K-12 sector, which is kindergarten till class 12, where I deal with, my schools are. It is defined, innovation is a process of making changes to something established by introducing something new. So I would say that every day we are innovating. Every day we are looking for opportunities for finding out alternative ideas. But over the years, there have been many changes in the way education is designed and delivered in different parts of the world. Innovative teaching is necessary for the present and future of education to help students to reach their full potential. Innovative teaching is a necessity for all the teachers in order to meet the education need of today's learners. If the teachers don't educate, the children will lose interest. Innovate, the children will lose interest. In India, why do we need to innovate in education, innovate in schools? To foster an environment of creative thinking, it is necessary to look beyond the traditional Indian educational system and start concentrating more towards a holistic system. So we need to shift from passive factory-based model to hands-on experiential learning. Shift from being textbook bound to being passionate creators and inventors. Shift to engage students to ask why. Let me just ask one question to my 3 young children out there. You all know Einstein, right? You all know Einstein. Einstein was a famous scientist. When he used to come back from school, every day Einstein's mother used to ask only one question. Do you know what the question was? Your mother, what does she ask generally when you come back?
What have you done?
How was the day? What did you learn? Did your teacher scold you? Am I going to get any complaint from teacher? All these things, right? That's a general trend. But Einstein's mother used to ask only one question every day, daily. Anybody here would like to guess? How many questions did you ask, my dear child? To yourself, to your teacher, to your friends. If the questions are not there, you are dead. If the questions pop up, how, why, what, when, where, then there is no stagnation. Then you innovate to answer to the question. Now, I am here to talk about innovation in education, but before I speak about the cutting edge, I want you to imagine how things would have been for the first pupils at this Gurukul learning. I want you to imagine how they used to learn in India. We had the Gurukul system for my foreign sisters from other countries, where the Guru used to teach the children under a banyan tree the lessons of life. It was the first integrated education in India. You know, they did not have 30 minutes of burst of unrelated information thrown at them. There were no periods. You know, there was a question a pupil would ask, and the teacher would integrate science, social studies, mathematics, English, everything together, and the answers were given. That was the first integrated education in India what we had. The moment we changed the Gurukul system, when we started dividing 30 minutes of periods, 8 to 10 periods, then what happened? The children are not prepared to break information. Okay, this period is math, this period is science, this period is SST. You know, we lost the essence. So now we are again realizing and going back to integrated system of education, where we do a lot of interdisciplinary learning. You must be doing in your school, right? So where you have a problem, you find the solution. You are not learning in different compartments. That is innovation in education. Now I would like to talk about so much of technology my dear friend has spoken about. So I will not touch more on technology. I basically was once upon a time a computer teacher, head of the department. My thesis is actually integrating technology in education. Sorry. I will not touch much upon technology, but I will like to tell you there are certain brilliant innovations that the teacher can do in the classroom. Audiovisual supplements, yes, technology. Then you have flipped classroom. I don't want to talk much about that. Role plays, peer teaching, games, collaboration, and integrating skills and values into the education system. Going beyond classrooms, taking the children to different, putting them in an opportunity and then let them learn and devise and come back and then have a discussion mode and finish it. So these are some of the innovations the teacher can do in a classroom. So now design thinking. I heard that yesterday there was a session on design thinking. Design thinking is a model that we use a lot in education. I basically have developed a lot of curriculum, and I have authored so many books. And I believe that not only design thinking is a technique that the teacher should use, wherein the processes, what I can say is empathize, define, empathize with your students. They have to understand how the students think. Then they have to relate with the students. Define your students' needs and problems. Ideate by challenging assumptions and creating ideas for innovative solutions and techniques. Prototype to start creating solutions, then test the solutions. So design thinking should not be restricted only to students, only to teachers. The students should also know how design thinking can help them innovate. So in my school, I have more than 1,500 teachers in my school, 25 schools which I head. So we are planning to organize a workshop for students as well as teachers on design thinking, because both the stakeholders should come together, and then only the things can innovate and the results can be seen. So I also want to talk a bit about homeschooling. Homeschooling. When I talk about innovation, I have to see the different ways innovation in education. This is another system that is quickly gaining popularity in India. Although people have been homeschooling their children for a long time in US, the debate between public schooling and homeschooling has been raging on since the advent of public school, with increased attention and personal care for the child being the most vociferous arguments in favor of homeschooling. No system is perfect, of course, but homeschooling remains a minority in the US, where it is relatively more common than elsewhere. So it remains to be seen if what its impact would be in India. I don't know, we'll have to wait and watch. There is a group of people who are advocating homeschooling as an innovative technique in education. You know, taking the children and going back to Gurukul system, taking them all over the world. Don't have to give money to the public school, spend a lot, but you spend that money and give them the lessons of life. But then the parents should be dedicated. The parents should be passionate. I would say the parents should be PhD holders to take up the challenge of homeschooling the children. PhD is passionate, hardworking and disciplined. That is the definition that the parents should have. Only then, because if you're not disciplined, you know, today I'm not sending the child to the school, so let it be, you know, tomorrow. I have to manage my time as a parent. So it's a very big challenge. I don't know how the parents have taken it up. So now, some innovations I want to touch upon. You know, as an educator, I keep on looking for ideas. In my schools also, I've ideated. What we have done is, you know, integrating values and skills into the system. But all my classrooms are smart classes, audio-visual classes. We do a lot of digital learning. That is common. But I believe that basically a child can be successful, but the child need not be happy. Success and happiness are two different things. We should go hand in hand. So if the child should be happily successful, you know, then the child should have all-round development, emotionally, socially, spiritually, you know, like everywhere, all the development should happen. For that, the child should focus on values and skills. So in our schools, we have an innovative technique of self-healing habitat, which has been appreciated by University of Berkeley also, which is really, really a good step towards, I'll talk about it if you have any doubt. Self-healing habitat is a place which is developed by the children, for their own emotional development. So that they are, without any confusion, they are growing up happily and they are achieving their dreams themselves. That's an area which we have developed. Some innovations across the globe, when I've done some research, South Korea has found that innovation is robot teachers. Yes, the teachers are, I don't know, I just can't even imagine of a classroom without a teacher. Denmark Forest Kindergarten, wherein it is something like a free play. You know, Denmark is also very, very, I will be visiting Denmark next month, and I'm very, very, you know, passionately waiting, excited to see the school. Yes. So, Forest Kindergarten is something like a free play. Then in Germany, we have free university education and innovation. Since we don't have two other speakers, can I take 2 extra minutes?
Now one speaker.
Actually, you're there. Okay. Germany, UAE 3D learning, Cuba literacy bridges, Finland teacher autonomy. Very, very important. The teacher is given complete freedom. There is no test which is standardized. Section A, B, C. Finnish education is the best education in the world. Why? Because Section A, the teacher can decide what is the criteria to give grade to the children. Section B, the teacher can decide. The teacher is a powerful lady. Oh God, I wish I was in Finland. You know, then England, the paperless classroom, which is an innovation. So having been a computer teacher in 90s, I am a big proponent of education in the classroom. But I would like to stress that we need innovation in education systems around the world, just not technology. Technology could be a supporting factor, but we have to go beyond technology, beyond books every day. You know, being an army wife, I've been innovating a lot. We go to a small tambu, you know, you have to innovate to make Indian rotis, where we didn't have, belen. I used to use bottle. So that is how, you know, as a teacher, I still remember when I used to teach in a remote school in a small rural area, I didn't have any teaching aid, but I used to innovate. I used to carry a bag with me, which my children used to call magical bag, where, you know, every day I used to keep some things, and then I would talk about that. You know, the magical bag, I would take about a fruit or something, sometimes in a butterfly, wing. You know, everything can be a learning thing for the children. So you have to innovate how you can use the learning space into innovative teaching technique. I don't believe in having big building, smart classes, but if you can't innovate, if you can't find a separate, every day it's a new day for the children. They're very curious. So you have to innovate and find new techniques. In morning, when I was a teacher, I always used to take about half an hour to plan my day. Today, how will I do something new for my children? How will I bring that excitement back in the classroom? That is where we as teachers have to innovate. Now, I would like to end upon, it's a very exciting topic for me, being into education since last 31 years. And my major challenge was educating not only the students and the teachers, but educating the parents, educating the community to accept what we are innovating. So it is for all in education, it's a very big challenge. Something new comes, there is so many resistance. You know, so we have to educate the whole community to accept that resistance. In India, we have lots of boards. You know, CBSE, ICSE, IGCSE. I think India is the only country which has got many boards. And every day a new system is coming up. So we have to kind of educate, keep educating ourselves and our community to, you know, have a better education for our children tomorrow. My motto here is, as an educator, I always believe in one thing: you have to learn, unlearn, and relearn. So, you know, that is how we have to innovate. What you have learned, what I have learned 50 years, I am 50 years now. What you have learned, you know, long time back, I have unlearned it and relearned new things so that, you know, you can keep up and you are not stagnant anymore. So I would be waiting for questions from the forum. I close here. I think the time is over. Thank you so much for patient hearing. Thanks a lot.
I am Mrs. Handa, and I am a preschool consultant basically. So I basically work with small children all the time. So for the past 25 plus years, I am dealing with the kindergarten, and I am doing planning for them and, you know, organizing various activities. I think Mrs. Beena Nair, she has really spoke very well, and I think I appreciate whatever she said. That is the need of the hour. I feel that we do not need to bring the robotic professional, but we need to bring innovative professionals. So the seed starts from the very beginning, you know, when our children are small, you know. So that time we need to plan a lot for the children, and the impression made at this age when the children are small, that goes a long way in developing their persona, their personality, I think. So we need to, hammer right from the beginning. although there are so much is written about the education system, the innovation in education system all around all around the world, there are so many researches done, so much is available, so much available material is there on the net. But here I would like to share with you some of the things which I strongly feel about. They are totally my personal views on the present education system, and I am here to share those views. First of all, I would like to add on that we need to have there are two things when we talk about the education system: planning the education system and then the execution of the education system in school, colleges, kindergarten, everywhere. So in planning, wherever the planning is concerned, I think we need to have a lot of renovation in planning of our education system. Our present education system is not need-based. When I am talking about here the innovation in education in India, I am totally, basically I am talking about India. Because I don't know much about in the other countries what is happening, how they are teaching, what is the syllabi, what is the curriculum. But in India, I feel that after 12th, even after graduation also, sometimes the children are lost. They don't know that where they are going, where they are heading. They have some interest, they are reading something else, and after doing graduation, sometimes they are totally lost that what we should be doing, they might have some interest in music or acting or dancing or anything, but they are reading some subjects which are of no interest to them. So we need to have more vocational courses to be added to our system, so that from the very start, from the very beginning, from maybe the school level, they start having a taste of those interests. They can pursue, they can explore, they can move, take ahead their interest from there only. So that, I think, is lacking in our education system, and we need to add lot of innovation in planning, understanding the basic needs of the children. So, in the execution level, I feel nowadays in schools, the syllabus are covered. Teachers have the pressure of covering the syllabus. They have to finish the syllabus irrespective of the kids have understood or not, and how much interest they have generated in the minds of the children. So I think we need to have more innovative teachers. Teachers who come prepared in the classroom. I have seen myself, even in the kindergarten, when the teachers reaches the school, that time they start thinking that what they are going to do today, what will be their today's schedule, what they will teach the children, or even if they know what they will teach, how they will teach. And you must understand this thing, that I think planning what they are going to teach is not that difficult as how they are going to teach. When I go to schools and I ask them to plan their diaries and give their planning beforehand, they write what they are going to do, but very few teachers will write how they are going to do. I think methodology is the most important ingredients of creating innovation in our education system. With the small children, I think sky is the limit. You can innovate to a level beyond your expectations, I think. Because we don't have to cover syllabus, we don't have to cover certain topics. When the children are in the kindergarten, in the school, they are activity oriented. Even for teaching a color to a child, you can innovate. You can bring, like she was talking about, I used to carry a magic bag. I think that is that magic bag every teacher must be carrying, She should carry a magic bag with lots of plethora of activities in her magic bag to take it out according to the need of the children, according to the nature of the children, and she need to devise various methods, various experiments to make learning very interactive and very interesting. I have heard a quote from Einstein that I do not teach my pupil. I create an environment where they imbibe things, So every teacher should have this thing in mind, that we need to create an environment for the children to learn, and they will automatically do the learning part. We don't have any need to teach the children.
Only thing is we need to create the environment. Recently I have watched a movie, I think many of you have watched, it's an Indian movie, Hichki. I think it was a very challenging role, if you have seen, portrayed by the Rani Mukherjee, and I think that is what they call innovation. That is the one basic part of innovation, that she tried to bring out the weaker children to the forefront and won everybody's heart. I think this is a big challenge in the classroom for the teacher. I have seen more of the schools, the stress is upon only on the few front benchers who are intelligent children, who answer quickly and who can bring laurel to the school. But what about those school children who are below average, who need a lot of attention to bring out their hidden potential. When we talk about schools, they talk about very big during the admissions that this school is, this is a kind of a school, it's a world-class school, that we are going to bring the hidden talent of the children. But when it comes to actually doing the things, I think that is not made into practice. That is not made into practice. I have my own experience with my own son in a school where he was going, and I think he was very talented. I want to share, I think with these small experiences only or from our own life, we can plan those kind of innovation. So when he was going to school, and he was not given much attention in terms of his hidden potential, So one fine day, my in charge of my son's school, she called me and she said, your son is very, I went and complained to that in charge that you are not taking my children to participate in the various activities which are happening in the school. So answer to that was, Mrs. Handa, that I will look into the matter, then I will come back to you. So after a few days, she again called me and she spoke to me and she said, I have spoken to the class teacher of your child, and she said, since me being a working, I am not paying much attention to my child, so that is why he is lacking in many extracurricular activities and he is not performing as compared to other children. So my question to that in charge was, what you are for? First of all, I as a parent totally believe that it is a partnership with the education system of a parent. It is not only a school can do everything, we need to be a partner with the school to take our children ahead. But taking that blame on me was very hard, because I was a very conscious mother, I was a very attentive mother, I used to know each and everything happening in the class. So this came as a surprise to me. So then again I went and told her, and then she said, okay Mrs. Handa, you come Monday, I will talk to you in front of your child to the teacher. So when I was waiting at the reception and suddenly teacher walked in and I was talking to the her MC, she just started talking to me, okay Mrs. Handa, you are here, your son is so bright, he takes lot of participation in the classroom. And I really love your son Gokul, he is so good. So it was a shocking dissimilarity between the two people, reporting to me. So that was a time when I really felt that there is a big gap between the management and the teachers also, which we need to bridge, and we need to bring that innovation in how we can bridge that gap and keep the parents informed rightly, So after that I realized that we as a school, it is the major responsibility of the school management to bring out that hidden potential. Even if my child was lethargic, even any child sitting here or outside or in any country is not taking part, it is the responsibility of teacher to bring that child in forefront and then devise some methods and bring out the best in that child. I think this kind of innovation in teaching method is very important. A subject like maths, which is very monotonous, very boring to many like me. I think I hate maths. I think, but if a teacher can innovate the techniques to teach a math in a very innovative and interactive method, and she can bring out, she can make even the dull student a bright. You know, you have to come up with a teaching aids, with some teaching gadgets. It can be anything, very simple to complex, anything a teacher, but only thing is she need to come prepared. So I always find in Indian context in the schools, although so much innovation is happening in many schools, but majorly I feel that teachers do their task as a routine. Unless and until teacher is not dedicated and she is not in the school to not only to perform the duty, but she should take the honors of making a generation which in turn is going to build the nation. So we need to understand that requirement of the country, requirement of the nation, requirement of the child who is going to be the future of the nation, and accordingly should plan keeping in mind the below average student. We should never teach in the class keeping in mind the above average child, but only a below average child who cannot understand. When once I was in Bangalore, as she was talking, that we as a teacher, we should have a spark in us, and we should all the time be excited to innovate and bring something new. When I was in Bangalore, I started my career as a teacher. Now I'm a consultant to preschool. So there was one very small child who was doing nothing, sitting at the mat. You know, all the notebooks were empty, not even a single letter, single word written on that. So when I joined that school, so I was being informed by every teacher around that there is no point, Mrs. Handa, wasting time on this child because he will not catch anything. So that I took as a challenge. For me, the challenge in that school was to bring that child to the forefront and make everybody know that this child even can do what other children can do, but only thing is, it is your focus, your vision towards that child, bring out the best. So I started working very slowly, gradually, continuously on that child, and I think I was very happy with the result, and I wrote a story on that particular child, and it was there on the radio also at that time. It's a long back, very long back I am narrating this story. So I think my major concern in bringing innovation in education is inciting and exciting the children to an extent that they should be ready to ask so many questions, and they should be feeling free in the classroom. They should not be hesitant even if they have a question in their mind and they are hesitant because a teacher is very harsh or a teacher is very strict, or they don't have that kind of a bonding with the teacher. So if we want that we teach a child, we need to create that bonding, and to create that bonding we need to make the classroom very comfortable. It should be a very comfortable thing in the classroom so that the children should not feel shy, or they should not feel very reluctant, or they should not be very scared to talk to the teacher. So if in every classroom the teachers are innovative at whatever level, whether it is a kindergarten or K2 or higher classes, I think we are going to churn out a very good generation of children who are going to benefit the whole nation. And then something which I want to touch upon, the moral values. I think nowadays in our country we are facing a lot of problem on this front. So education system should innovate few things which are very, very important for the teacher to inculcate those values in the children. And I think again it is totally and total planning can happen. Syllabus can be made, it can be given to the teachers, but the actual trainer, the actual teacher, she needs to be very, very hyper to channelize those things, those activities in her own way, own individual way, and then innovate and experiment with those things. This is very, very, and then one thing which is very important, I have written few points over here, but since the time is also short, that is in our education system in India, I think we need to delink the percentage. There's a rat race of percentage. We in our schools are teaching the children to get marks, because the marks are important, because college admission will not happen. So learning is a process, it is not an outcome. Like parents also believe that their child is going to a good school, so they should get very good marks, they should get admitted into a prestigious colleges. There's a lot of pressure on the children, So irrespective of their liking or not liking, whether they are getting good marks or less marks, the pressure is so much on the children's mind. So we need to delink that pressure from the children's mind so that they can freely pursue their passion and then make it a profession. If you follow your passion and you make it a profession, I think, like she was talking about a happy child and a successful child. I think if you are happy only when you are pursuing your own interest. Nowadays, there is no dearth of profession all around. It is not only the engineers or the doctors or the few profession which we talk about. There are n number of profession, and every profession demands innovation. So we need to train our teacher. When the school recruit the teachers, they need to have their training programs where they train the teachers how to. They tell the teacher to teach, but they don't tell the teacher how to teach. So this is very, very important. I think all over the world things are happening, exchange programs are happening. We are doing so much for the education, but still more and more things need to be done. And I think if teachers are sitting in this room, or those who will listen to me later, it's I think very sincere, I want that every teacher should not work looking at the watch in the classroom. They should totally be free with the children when their teaching is concerned. They should bring out lots of ideas. They should come prepared in the classroom, and then they should innovate. And as a school management, they should also arrange some programs, some seminars, some workshops where they can tell them the various teaching methods to be adopted and followed in the classroom. Then only I think our children will be more learned and more knowledgeable. Thank you so much.
That comprises of teachers also, and teachers influence the life child for
Yeah.
life.
I am proud to be a teacher, and my dear child, you must know that I have a doctor. My younger son is a doctor. I think I am paid, 10, 12 times more than my son, and I pay my teacher, a good teacher. I've got 25 schools, and a good teacher is paid very well. So don't worry. If you are a passionate teacher, that was an old notion that the teachers are paid less. Now, a doctor or an engineer, when they join a profession, they get the startup salaries 20,000, 15,000 sometimes, right? A teacher in my school, I take a passionate teacher, I go to B.Ed colleges, and also a fresher. I don't think that the teacher should come up with an experience or anything. They should have the skills to be passionate and to deliver in the classroom. So we start with minimum of 25,000. So it's a wrong notion that the teachers are paid less.
School teachers who themselves believe that if you find no other scope in any other field, become a teacher.
Yeah, that is why I always tell the teacher should be a teacher by choice.
This was an earlier notion.
Yeah, yes, I know ma'am. Now it is not there. Basically, we've got a lot of youngsters. I recruit from, since 25 schools I'm running, pan-India. So we go to universities and colleges and motivate. So basically, I talk to the faculty, teachers, and I say that, I want to motivate the students, and I only take them, those who are passionate, and those who want to become teacher by choice. So if you have that teacher in you, then there is no limit. Initially, it used to be like a very low paid job. And in boarding schools, a kindergarten teacher is paid the maximum. I was in one of the boarding school in Darjeeling, way back in 90. I was an activity teacher in Darjeeling school. And they asked me, ma'am, can you be in a kindergarten teacher? I had an apprehension. No, I was teaching, 11th and 12th. I want to pay a PG. I want to get a PG degree. No, we want the best teacher to be in the kindergarten. And I was paid the maximum. So it's a wrong notion. A good teacher, if you want to become a teacher, there is no, I told you, I've got a doctor, engineer and a teacher in my house. Yes, ma'am.
Meena ji, here I differ in the sense like what she has raised the query, it happens in almost many schools, that a good teacher sometimes
is underpaid.
Good teacher may become a teacher, but mostly the teacher job is like that, it is treated as because their working hours are very flexible.
No, that is again a wrong.
There are too many holidays attached to it, and since they are till the time they are not getting any other opening, so let's be a teacher. So if a teacher by choice is definitely she is going to use all her innovation and then she is going to be a good teacher, but yes, they are not paid. When I was writing my point, it was written that school management should devise methods where they attach some perks with the teacher who is an exceptionally good teacher.
I do that with my school teachers. We've got teacher training programs, teacher incentives, and then hours. Sorry, a long time back it used to be 6 hours. Now a teacher's job is a 24-hour job. Yes, ma'am?
I would like to share something. The first point, as you said, I teach in a college, I'm a professor. I would definitely accept that teaching in a KG or a kindergarten is much tougher than what we do. Let me be very honest. Another thing, what you are saying is correct, 24 hours. Because if a teacher is passionate, like I teach in a college, and I take my students for inter-college conferences and debates and all, believe you me, we keep on talking on phone during evening hours. रात को भी debate कल है तो we are talking on phone continuously. My husband tells me, and he is working in IBM.
But percentage of such teacher is very less.
I wish we had such teachers in our school.
So we have now WhatsApp groups in the with the teacher and the students. Both classes teachers are available 24 hours helpline. Then only the teacher can be a successful teacher who is a teacher who will be remembered for life.
And the students, I've been teaching for the past 20 years now. My students must be having their children, and now this final year batch is just passing out. I just wrote a few lines on Facebook, so children, say goodbye and all. And what all they've shared, thank you so much, ma'am. There was a final year student. He could not speak on the podium. मैं उसको आगे लेकर आई, उसको presentation, and he came first in the inter-college presentation. I mean, his parents came. इतना झुक के वो कर रहे हैं. I felt so good. This is, and whatever we give, that comes back.
Yes.
So teacher,
I will just tell one small thing to them. Only the teachers make everybody, and teaching is the only profession where you get to know whether you are good or bad immediately. 30 minutes of session, if you have made it, you are good. If you have not made it, you are not good. So, that's only wherever, any other profession you have to wait.
Teachers
So I tell you all that you all must think about becoming good
I think
teachers.
self-motivation is the only thing which makes a good teacher.
my passion is
Unless and until a teacher is self-motivated, she cannot reach anywhere. So that kind of teachers are very less which are self-motivated.
Yes, I think that session
I have a
time is getting